Man, it is a football-heavy episode because we got the national championship game final in the books. We got NFL playoffs about to begin, and we got Week 18 for the first time ever. We get to talk about Week 18 football because this is the biggest season there ever was. This is the We Don't Know Sports podcast. Stay tuned. Welcome back once again to the We Don't Know Sports podcast. This is Chad the Mark with
Mr. Brown
and
Tommy Turbo.
And I think it's backwards. I thought it was Turbo Tommy.
Tommy.
He's new.
Turbo.
He's new at this, everybody. I missed you guys last week, but we had, I guess, in recent memory to us, this would be considered a blizzard because we got 9 inches of snow last week and we couldn't do a podcast. Or we did, but I didn't have you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we found a way to get the publicity out there, and you found one of the hottest super events in all the country.
Tony the Tiger.
But we tried between sickness, the Rona, and the snowstorm. We just couldn't fit it together for all of us to get together. But let's be real. You know, from Biggie's old stomping grounds in North Dakota, 9 inches here and 9 inches on those flat grounds is completely different.
Absolutely.
Like, we actually have some terrain here.
Yeah, he didn't leave the driveway for a few days.
Correct.
He couldn't. And then Tommy, you know, you're living the retirement life. Did the weather bother you at all, or you just take it easy?
I sat there and watched it fall and enjoyed every minute of it.
See, there you go. I did not. I had to walk a half mile up to my house because I couldn't get my vehicle up there because,
Been there, done that.
Front wheel drive only goes so far. But I guess we got another bout of snow coming. Are you nervous?
Why get nervous? Can't control nature. You get anxious, but not nervous.
That's it. And speaking of anxious, you and me have a big game to look forward to this weekend, do we not?
Well, yeah, that's, I'm
really looking forward to it because it's been a long time since the Bengals won a playoff game, so I'm really just excited that they're about to win a playoff game.
I'm kind of scared now that you mention it because, we got the rematch. I look up on the wall, and I feel bad for Bo Jackson. Here we are.
Yeah.
Luckily, we don't have the stars bigger than life that you can take out this time, you dirty bastards.
We can't. Not even Gruden unless he walks out the tunnel. But the thing about the streak with the Bengals is the first game they lost in the streak was against the Raiders. So they're going to end the streak. It's coming full circle, literally, all this time later. So looking forward to it. But let's just kind of start there because we have a lot of NFL stuff to get out of the way. We know we got the college football championship, which was awesome in its own way, and we got picks, our wild card edition, Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks, and we got to talk about an epic collapse there last week. But that being said, how happy are you that the Chargers don't know how to manage late game situations?
I mean, personally, for me, it's irrelevant to me because
You were in anyway.
We beat them, and we're going to get in, but you should be asking Tommy this question.
Well, Tommy, remind the listeners who your squad is.
The Steelers.
Okay, and the Steelers, who, as Big Ben eloquently put it, would be the 14th out of 14 teams ranked if they ranked the playoff teams, but y'all made it.
Get in the show.
Were you watching the Chargers and Raiders?
I went to bed early. I did not know it would go to overtime.
You just expected it not to happen. Okay.
And how much of your fate could have changed in a matter of seconds?
Honestly, I woke up in the middle of the night because my phone was going off, and I'm like, what is wrong? And then I realized then that it went into overtime.
I mean, why couldn't we just get a tie? Like, everybody on social media was pulling for the tie so hard. That's all everybody wanted.
Scared of the Steelers.
And the Chargers, they couldn't leave well enough alone. The Raiders were content with just taking the tie. Yeah, I bet you did think it was a good decision.
Got to call that timeout.
Nobody is afraid of the Steelers. Everybody would rather play the Steelers than the Chargers, but the Chargers are the only ones to blame for this scenario. They screwed up.
So we talked about this before, me and you, about how as a child you always felt like quicksand was going to be a bigger deal than what it really is in real life. The only one that seems affected by that in this world is Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes.
So that's why no one's scared to face it.
We put a thing up in the Football is Life group with the Pro Football Fantasy or the Pro Football Focus, where they do a really good job ranking quarterbacks. Did you see where Roethlisberger ranked this year?
No, I didn't.
26th. or 27th. He was right behind Baker Mayfield. Actually, rated out higher than Big Ben this year.
I mean, with the height Baker still had for some reason heading into this season, but I could see that because Big Ben's been hurt. I mean,
yeah, well, so is Mayfield. But either way, like I look at Mayfield as someone who has a garbage year. They didn't make the playoffs. Somehow Roethlisberger, who can't throw the ball 2.7 yards. What was his stats in that final game, Tommy?
Oh man, let's not get into all this. No,
was he? I was like, my God, he's thrown the ball 60 times. He had 109 yards.
Yeah. Most of the throws were these little shovel passes. You get credit for a pass, but it didn't go across the line of scrimmage.
So bad. I was like, why are they throwing the ball so many times if they can't even get 100 yards? It was so
good
terrible.
news. Juju practiced today for the first time since week 5.
Is that good news?
That is good news for us.
Another receiver that's going to do like TikToks and
Yeah,
stuff.
I was going to say TikTok will just blow up this weekend. Yeah.
All right, so the poll has on the page or the group, people are leaning toward the Bengals and Raiders. We'll move on. Chiefs obviously are destroying the Steelers in the poll. So do you what as a Steelers fan? And like the Bengals recently played the Chiefs and won, but I wouldn't want to play the Chiefs again. Not a chance in hell. So
I don't want it to end up like it did a few weeks ago.
is that what's going to happen, or do you have a different outcome? What do you think?
But look, in all honesty, deep down, I think it's going to be a better game. Not sure how the fourth quarter will play out. I think the fourth quarter is going to be the biggest part of it.
Okay.
But
if you're still interested in the fourth quarter, I would chalk that up as a win.
Deep down, I hate to say it because I don't want to say this in front of you, but
say it.
I like Mike Tomlin as a coach. I feel like
I like Mike Tomlin too.
He's going to have a good game plan heading into this game to at least try to keep it competitive, you would think. However, with that being said, they're just too talented on one team compared to the other. So for all of our listeners out there and people on social media, if you haven't been invited yet, just check our social media. You are invited to Big Ben's retirement party.
Yes.
Come on out.
I think right now the RSVP is up to 100,000 maybe. I mean, it's
the top to 100K today.
There's a lot of people are showing up.
Get your tickets now. Go to the page.
But I think Arrowhead can only hold so many people. So I think we're going to have to do one of those things where we're just going to have to sell out Heinz Field too.
Yeah, we'll do a watch party at Heinz Field.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it takes because we need to send him off in style, baby.
That's right.
But that being said, let's jump around here a little bit. Are you still in shock and awe that the Titans are the number 1 seed in the AFC?
I'm not. I feel like they've done a hell of a job all year. You kept shitting all over them, but they just kept finding a way to win. It was never flashy, but they continue to win even though Derrick Henry played, what, eight weeks?
He's been out for 8 weeks.
So
now he's about to come back.
So they're on a bye week this week. He'll be back for the first game. And that's a team.
Is that going to mess up their mojo?
I don't think so. Anytime you can give that man the ball, it's
doubles
nothing
their
but
mojo. Yeah.
So to me, I feel like with their mindset, and what do you think? The fact is, they held it down, and now they're getting their guy
They're
back.
getting healthy. The best player in the NFL is
How
coming
much
back.
swag are they going to have that first game?
I can say I'm wrong, man. I've shit on the Titans like for the past 6 weeks because they kept squeaking out these games. I'm like, they can't be this good. Like, what? How are they good? Like, it's not even like Julio, who's a Hall of Fame potential receiver.
No, he was trash.
He's not doing crap. You know what I mean?
Touchdown of the year in week 18.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's how are they winning?
I'm butthurt over that because he was my third receiver in fantasy. Yeah. Third receiver though. It wasn't like, banking on it.
It was
My God.
It was so bad. But either way, the Titans are there. Also in the AFC, we have the Patriots and the Bills are going to dance again.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun one to watch.
That'll be the best game of the weekend.
I think so.
I do.
Yeah. Both leagues.
Yep. I think
it might
game.
be. I have one I think might be more interesting, but we'll get there. Who are we missing in the AFC? Is that everybody? The Raiders, Bengals. Okay, that's everybody in the AFC. So let's switch over to the NFC. Packers, like we thought, they get the bye. To me, I think probably and I hate one of these teams very much, but you want to talk about an interesting game, and we were talking about it right before the show, Tommy. It's only a 3-point spread, and we're going to get our picks later. But the Cowboys and Niners.
I love that game too.
Because the Niners, man, like who wants to play them? Like they're doing craziness.
And
right
not
now.
only that, but those two iconic franchises meeting up in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's it. The iconic. I mean, it's just the history
you
of
feel
it.
You feel everything there. I love it. You know,
too. I love their matching up first game.
It's
like only one moves on.
So that's going to be a fun one. I think the Eagles and Bucks is not going to be great just because the Bucks have the run defense and the Eagles run the ball great. So one of them's got to give, right?
I feel like the Eagles won, I think, 4 out of 5 games heading into the playoffs to get in. They were hot down the stretch.
They were on a tear.
My only concern is Tampa Bay is so thin at receiver for obvious reasons. Torn knees and streaking
Mr.
and
Big
all that
Chest.
good stuff.
Streaking.
So, I mean, they're kind of hurting there. Yeah. But this is another thing, like the Steelers thing that I said earlier about Tomlin. How in the hell is Tom Brady at age 44 have his most passing yards of his career at age 44? This is madness. The man don't age. I mean, he's probably going to play till he's 50.
You can be cynical and say, well, it's because they have an 18th game and stuff like that. No, listen. First of all, in any platform to be able to lead the league in anything, that's excellence. Now you're doing it at this age. And then everything you just mentioned about the turmoil they've had as far as health goes and the receivers that haven't been playing, but yet he still just finds a way to do it. Like and you and I, was it a couple years ago, or at least last year, like we came around and said, yeah, Brady's a GOAT. Like we hate it, but it is. How can you still argue this?
You can't.
Like, it's fine if you don't like him, if you want to call him the Cheatriots and all that stuff. Like, I get it if you feel that way, but dude, like, the
fact he left Belichick and went and won one in Tampa Bay his very first season, that puts it all to bed.
No, and
it was bad before that, but that's the nail in the coffin.
It's not like he's just a part of the team either. Like, he makes it go.
No, he
elevates everybody around him. And I, for one, hope that we get a Packers-Bucks NFC Championship game again. That would be phenomenal.
That would be fun to watch, yes.
But keeping it in the NFC, the other game we got, again, for the third time, this time with feeling, we got the Cardinals and the Rams. And
I think that's a toss-up.
Man,
I'm not
it's going to be hard to pick. It's going to be a tough one.
I mean, the Cardinals, you never know what to expect with them. And the Rams, you don't know what to expect out of Stafford. You know, I mean, it could go any way you could possibly think in this game.
Even though Cooper Kupp was probably one of the best fantasy options for football this year.
Why can't he be mentioned as MVP?
Right, but like you kind of hit the nail on the head beginning of the year with Stafford. I mean, he did better than Detroit, obviously, but the surroundings are better.
Right.
But he didn't ball out like a lot of people thought he was going to do.
No,
he managed the game.
He's like a glorified Jay Cutler, man. Like he's a little better. He's a little better decision maker. He's got the big arm. He can make all the throws. But when the lights shine the brightest, man, he kind of falls to the shadows a little bit. And like, this is his chance to change that narrative, you know?
He's like a Carson Palmer.
Yeah. That's probably, that's a more favorable, comparison. Thank you very much.
I just thought about choking. Well, y'all never got to choke. So.
Well, Palmer, his first appearance in the playoffs, he got hit by a dirty play and was injured and couldn't finish. But we won't talk about the Steelers anymore today.
Was it dirty play? What?
But anyway, the NFL playoffs are set. We're excited. Are you feeling? Do you understand the format now that we have the extra team? I think it makes even more sense now with the one team getting a bye. You don't have the two. It just goes if the lowest seed plays the bye, and then everybody else gets matched up, right?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. It's good shit, man.
I'm liking it.
So
7th seed.
That being said, let's move into it was Black Monday, then it turned into Black Tuesday. It's now Thursday, and we still have coaches getting fired. Any surprises on the firing carousel here?
Just like everybody says, Flores in Miami. I don't understand that one.
That's a tough one.
I feel like they were in every game that fought hard, but then I heard rumors yesterday that
about the GM and him.
No, a lot of the players didn't like the way he managed them, and like I guess he was managing it more like a college football atmosphere as opposed to NFL and treating them like professionals.
Gotcha.
And he was more like he's kind of abrasive,
closer to Urban Meyer style, maybe.
Right.
So
then they didn't like it because they're they get what they make some money. They don't want to be told what to do.
See, I haven't seen that, but I mean, I can buy that if that happens. I think Flores is a guy that somebody will probably take a flyer on
so.
Because how do you take that Dolphins team? And what they win 7 in a row to close out the year?
They lost 7, then they won 7.
Yeah, the first team ever to do that. I mean that's hard to move on from someone that's given you that much momentum.
To show that much grit after that losing streak.
Like you're the front office that took Tua over Herbert. Why are you firing me?
Well,
But I heard that when he got the job and they were doing the draft stuff, and they were trying to like iron out how they wanted to build the team. He told the GM and the owner, he's like, y'all ain't won shit in 20 years, and the only constant's been you two. I'm here now. And it just rubbed him the wrong way.
Yeah.
But he's not wrong, though, either. So Flores is out. Are you, even if they deserve to be out, is there anybody surprised that you saw got let go?
The one today with Houston.
Like, how are you firing people today?
What was it named? Cauley?
David Cauley?
Yeah.
David
So,
Cauley.
like, first of all, he had literally no experience. You throw him on a team that just complete dog shit from the beginning.
Like, just
Complete
What'd they do?
worse.
What was their record? They won more than
It
they actually
doesn't matter.
should have. I mean, but they won more than actually they should have on paper.
Right.
And
3, I think,
you
didn't
could tell they didn't give up. It's not like they're the number one pick, and I feel like they're probably the least talented team.
No, was it the Titans they beat? And you were like, what the hell?
Yeah. But I mean, the fact is, you can't. If you're really trying to build something, how do you fire the guy after 1 year when you know your team's no good?
I mean, there might be some internal reasons there that we don't know about, but if that's the case,
Maybe they
why
just
are you,
realized it was a bad hire from the beginning. and it
But
was
why
a
are you
cheap
firing them
scapegoat.
on Thursday and not Monday?
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
4-13. They
what-
went 4-13.
Well, what are you sitting
4.
there thinking about all this time? And they fired the offensive coordinator because that's why they couldn't score. Was clearly the play call.
I just think he was this cheap scapegoat, and I think it's classless by the Texans organization. That's what I think.
That's a rough one. We saw the Vikings moved on.
That one's warranted.
Yeah,
He's still worried about his pinup model.
Hey,
He even mentioned it in his exit speech.
he's on to greener pastures, if you will. Bears fans have to be rejoicing.
Absolutely.
So I saw this going around. Like, I feel like we got to give an apology to Mitch Trubisky. Just like he took that Nagy-led team to the playoffs twice.
I never had an issue with
Maybe
Mitch. I thought he
Trubisky's
was a
not that
decent
bad.
quarterback. Yeah.
Because we saw how bad the Bears are. Like,
All I know is this year, every quarterback they had under Nagy this year just ruined Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
He was one of the biggest fantasy busts of the
yeah,
league.
friends of the program, Fantasyholics, that was their bust of the year, right? I
Absolutely.
think I saw that.
Fantasy-
Dude's been
Yeah.
solid for 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns.
He was almost like a DeAndre Hopkins. Like, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, he's going to give you
Right.
numbers.
God awful.
Just god awful.
Get out of there, A-Rob. Get out of there.
And then who else is gone? Who else? Did we miss anybody else?
We had
7 total coaches. Is that correct?
Is it that many?
I think 7.
Joe Judge.
Joe Judge.
Joe Judge.
that's just I don't know how much. There's just no talent.
Nah, that's
I can't say he was the right fit, but he didn't have no talent either.
no. But he went through a couple years. Matt Rule survived in Carolina. There was some stirrings there. I feel like there's another one we're missing. I should have took notes. We're very bad planners.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's all right. Oh wait,
Denver.
Oh yeah, Denver.
Vic.
Fangio.
Fangio, yeah.
So
There's another one.
So again, another that was a team that I felt like kind of overperformed.
They overperformed, but I didn't really like the hire from the beginning.
Yeah.
He was an older guy, really hadn't had a shot.
What's wrong with age?
Why hadn't he had a shot already? And he's a defensive guy. I don't know.
That's like when the Bengals hired Dick LeBeau back in the day. Dick LeBeau was like the best defensive coordinator of all time, but he's not a head coach. Never was. But
Another
like
dig
North
at my
Turner.
Steelers.
he was he ever head coach of the Steelers?
No.
No,
was our
he went back as
coordinator.
defensive coordinator because he was good at that. He was even D coordinator for the Titans. Like he that's what he was. Some people are better as coordinators. Just the way it rolls. But a lot of interesting things that happen. I'm just sad that Biggie's not with us as he's celebrating a child's birthday today. He's got priorities because I'm sure he would have all kinds of input on these firings.
His whole household now is in teenage years.
Man, that's a lot of angst.
Yes.
It's a lot for a single dad to put up with. Best
is.
of luck to Biggie as he's
Good
out
luck,
there
Biggie.
dealing with that. But I think that's enough NFL talk for now. So let's take a pee-pee break and maybe we'll come back and talk a little college football.
Sounds good.
All right, I got to tell you, I was a little tired on Monday. I had a long day, and of course, nothing says Monday night like college football. But it was the national championship. Part of me is a little miffed because I feel like the NFL doesn't need to have Saturday football on Week 18. So we could have had a Saturday night college national championship, but we were resigned to Monday. And I watched most of the first half. I was at my old man's, and then I drove home. And by the time I got home, the game had quickly changed into something that it didn't look like when I was watching it. I thought no one was ever going to score a touchdown. Did you guys hang around and watch the whole thing?
I did not.
What?
I did not see the whole game. I kept in touch with my pal.
Were you about like me? Just kind of got tired and gave it up?
9-6. I was getting a little bored with it.
Right. It was not a fun game in the first half to watch.
I'm not the college football guy, and funny enough, I stayed awake for the whole thing.
It got interesting. You know,
So fourth quarter is where it was at.
Oh yeah, you just had to suffer through all the muck to get there, and then once it happened, and that turnover at the end where they just kind of sealed it, man. Like you were just like, holy crap, Georgia is exercising their demons from 1980 to now.
Before even that, though, I was thinking they blew it again when he kind of nonchalantly threw the ball and they said it was a fumble. And, the defender casually walked towards the sidelines and he actually had a foot in bounds and scooped it and they called it a fumble. And I was like, this is where Georgia loses the game.
Right.
This is typical Georgia.
Typical Georgia.
Because they had it was the correct call once they corrected it when Georgia scored a touchdown on the first drive defensively. And they're like, no, he was throwing the ball. But, Georgia, first of all, the fact that Saban assistant exercised those demons too.
Actually beat
is this the first time he's lost to one of his former assistants? I think it is.
Yes, I believe it is.
I mean, you give enough chances, eventually one of them's going to get you. But of all stakes, nice to see it happen there.
Well, I didn't even know, of course, like I said, I'm not the guru for college football, but I didn't even realize that him and Kirby were had such close ties that.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize they went to the Dolphins together and everything.
Yeah,
So,
that's part of his tree, man.
Bittersweet.
Did you see or hear the post game meet and greet they had, or not meet and greet, but you go shake hands and all that stuff? Did you hear any of that?
I didn't see it. No.
All right, so Saban, when he gets over there, he's like, "Man, y'all really kicked our ass in the fourth quarter," and Kirby Smart was just like, "Yeah. How's the boy? How's the receiver?"
Asked about Williams.
Yeah, how's Williams doing? And he's like, we'll check on him. He's like, well, let me know, man. He's a hell of a ball player. I hope he's all right. And in the heat of the moment of all that stuff, that was cool to see. You feel bad for Alabama if you can feel bad for a team like Alabama because
it's hard, isn't it?
They had they were down to they were playing 3-star receivers, and everybody was hurt. They were down to playing what everybody else in the country plays. The other thing too, did you see Nick Saban's post game with his quarterback and his receiver?
I did see that.
I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, that's you want to comment on that,
No,
Tommy?
I'm just saying I saw that. That was, I mean, that's pretty sweet that he stands up for his players like that. And you could tell that they were kind of hanging their heads.
Man, they don't just go to Alabama because they win. It is a culture there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something.
It's a culture. That was a very classy move. And despite the culture, the college football landscape that we have now with the portal, the way it is, a kid sees that and he's probably going to be more willing to stay because, man, this coach is legit. It's not just about, he's using
family.
me. But then also not even just that. Those two players beside of him, they're going to go on and do bigger, better things.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to remember that moment the rest of their life.
Absolutely.
I think.
And that's one of those things that if they're going to be in the national championship next year, you'll see that clip.
Yeah.
Because you remember how they felt. But I will say this. I believe Nick Saban to be sincere when he says that to his players. But at the same time, don't think he ain't always recruiting.
Right.
He knows where he's at, and he knows who sees it. And there ain't nothing wrong with showing that because there's no more games. It's not a distraction. Let me just tell everybody I love these boys in front of the nation real quick.
Right.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong at all. There's no downfall to that.
No, at all. Nope. It makes sense.
Just like the Brady thing, it's safe to say Saban, despite losing that game, is the GOAT, right? College football GOAT,
Oh,
would you say?
easily.
Got to.
Bear Bryant, him. It's got to be Saban.
It's Saban.
With today's
because the
landscape.
era you're doing it
right,
in.
right.
You're not supposed to be able to do what you're doing now with the fact that you have a playoff,
Right.
the fact that everyone's on the same scholarship restrictions. And, we'll see how he does as the NIL stuff still rolls out. Nick Saban's already kind of heeded that warning about, you know what? They need to get some controls on this because it's going to get bad. And really what you're doing, you're letting too many people get involved with these kids, and we'll see what happens. I believe they should earn money, but, it needs to be regulated a little better, I think.
Who would have thought blue chips would come to fruition?
It's happening now. It's happening in your parents' living room.
Get that boy's daddy a tractor.
the greenest green there is. The thing about Georgia, man, they seem like this is the second national title appearance they've had. They're an elite program. Are they going to sustain this for years to come, or is this a thing where they might kind of take the reins from Alabama? Because how much longer can Saban still go? Is Alabama going to be Alabama when Saban's gone?
That's a good question.
When he's gone, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see, but we've said it in the last 5 years. LSU looked good there for a minute. We're like, are they going to unseat them? Clemson was kind of hanging with them. And it's like, but then we always come back to it's Alabama and somebody.
Yep.
It's never like it's Clemson and LSU.
It's Alabama and the field.
Dude, it's laps, man. And there's teams that will run a faster lap, but nobody runs all the laps better than Bama. They might lose one here or there. Yeah, that marathon is always at their pace, and it continues to be so. And I think Clemson will bounce back next year, and that's. But still, we're kind of like a 3 to 4 team. At the beginning of the season, that's who you expect, and that's about it.
And I know we don't touch on politics, but
we try not to.
The funny thing
God,
here,
where are we going?
The Braves, won their first World Series, and since '95, Georgia won their first college championship since 1980.
Yep.
They've had Republicans in office all this time, and now they go to Democrats. Was it Stacey Abrams or Adams or whatever?
Nah,
thanks a lot.
She's not the governor. She's the. I wish I was, but
that was a meme I saw online. It's like all they had to do is flip the color.
That's all they had to do,
and everybody's winning.
I'm sure that has everything to do with
Absolutely.
it. You just probably pissed off half our listeners.
No, it's fine. But
the other half,
I'm being sarcastic.
The other half will laugh at the sarcasm.
Yes.
Hopefully they can see through that. Tommy seems conflicted himself. Hope he's okay. Calm down, Tommy.
I saw it online. I didn't say it was my thought.
But is this like the year of Georgia though? Then are the Hawks going to win the finals now? Is that what's?
Well, I posted Tommy about to spit out his beer. I posted that meme today, that meme you always see about the guy with his girlfriend and looking at the hot chick walking.
Yeah, the turn head thing.
Yeah, the turn head. She was the Hawks and the Falcons. He was the Braves looking at the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at right now.
That's exactly where we're at. But I'm sad college football has come to an end, and I feel bad for Alabama's receiving core more than anything. My God, everybody's hurt. And then they had the guy that's the projected best receiver,
Williams.
He's got the torn ACL. So we'll see how he comes back. But, the way things, I hate to make light of it. It's almost like when somebody gets Tommy John in baseball now, right? You tear your ACL, you'll be all right. You'll come back. Just like how Joe Burrow's doing. Ha, ha, ha. But anyway, there's one more thing I wanted to ask you, just in relation to college football. Is Jim Harbaugh going to coach the Michigan Wolverines next year, or is he going to be in the NFL?
He's not going to the NFL. He's not going to.
What do you think the odds are?
Confidently.
What's the percent?
I'm saying at least 90% that he stays in Michigan.
Stays in Michigan.
Yes.
So
he's got a decent little gig there.
The rumor is like the whole reason Flores got fired was just so they could interview Harbaugh.
Well, you can interview
I heard the
the
Bears.
Well, the Bears are going to fire Nagy anyway.
I'm like, well, why would you go to? No, I heard that his dream job in his mind is the Bears.
Well, I could see that.
Didn't he play for the Bears?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a Bear.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, maybe. We'll see how that goes. I mean, your expectations.
Maybe he knows Rodgers is leaving.
I mean, that's the right time to be a Bears coach.
Well, yeah. I mean,
there's a window there.
And he doesn't want to go have Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. So we'll stay in Chicago.
I mean, I'll take him in Vegas.
I'd like to know how many coaches in the NFC North have been since Rodgers has been there. Like, how many guys can we say Rodgers got fired? Quite a bit. All the Lions coaches.
Yeah.
Either way, Jim Harbaugh, Tommy says he's staying in college. I think he is too, honestly.
I got an over. Like let's do the over under, or not over under. Who lasts the longest? Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay from this point,
okay,
or Dan Campbell in Detroit?
I That's not an over-under. It's just a pick 'em, right?
Pick 'em.
I'd go Dan Campbell.
He stays longer?
Yeah.
I agree. Dan Campbell. I think Dan's got something going on
He
up
does.
there.
He does.
So
I wanted to give a shout out to our Lions.
the Lions pride out there that's fans of the show and friends of the
Which
show.
we need to bring them back on.
We need to. It's the end of season, but we just don't have much Lions football to talk about right now. But we'll find the time to get them on.
Oh, they're chomping too.
The thing is, you take a step back for a second. Like we're talking about Rodgers being done in Green Bay, like that. He just set no quarterback in NFL history has ever had the best touchdown to interception ratio in back-to-back years, and he's done that. And there's a good chance he might get the MVP. He just went both years. He only threw 4 interceptions a year.
It's remarkable.
In the past 3 years, he's thrown 15 picks.
Last 3 years, the Packers have won 13 games each year.
But if you combined all 3 of his interceptions, or all 3 years, he'd have lower interception totals than half the starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year.
Yeah, Carr had 14 this year.
Yeah, so it took Carr 1 year to do what Rodgers took 3 years.
Right.
It's insane.
So just like Mark Davis, I'm gonna compare to Aaron Rodgers. He's a millionaire. He's making all this money. Why can't you wash your damn hair?
Is it going to be another Halloween costume he's working on? I don't know.
He needs.
John Wick's done now. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Maybe some people like the look.
Maybe it's like he's going to do like a Head and Shoulders commercial coming up.
He's going to get with Palomalu. He's trying to
something.
Maybe he can get a perm. That'd be nice. Can we get Rodgers?
Damn hair.
Rodgers the perm kind of look like Bob Ross.
Yeah.
We'll just give him the fro.
Yeah.
That'd be all right. Why not? We'll give you a Happy Packer right here. It'll be good. Happy cheese. All right. Well, we talked college football, then ended up talking about Aaron Rodgers' hair. So that's the way things go sometimes. All right. We're going to do it this time with feeling because it is time for the NFL, not week anything, but the wild card. Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks. And we just completed the biggest season in NFL history. And Mr. Brown, you are the wire-to-wire leader when it came to picking against the spread. You were an expert amongst experts. You were outranking people from Sports Illustrated, from NFL Network, from ESPN to Bleacher Report. It did not matter. And then Week 18 got the best of you.
Oh, whipped my ass. No doubt about it.
4-12.
I think that pressure of the blue check mark, it did me in.
It must have. That, and to be honest with you, I thought Week 18 could spell disaster anyway because half the teams weren't really playing. Like, how do you even pick some of those spreads? Not to give you an excuse.
Obviously, you don't. Not successful.
Of course, that's the 1 week I beat everybody because I can pick the chaos, apparently.
Well, elaborate for the fans and the listeners what transpired about our picks.
Well, you were clearly in the lead all season, and Biggie, who has been doing great and is the defending champion at We Don't Know Sports,
two or three years.
Yeah, he's also top 10 nationally.
Correct.
So it's not like he's no slouch. And he needed to have a good week, and you needed to have a bad week. And I noticed at some point on Sunday, I looked, and you were like 1-6, and I was like, damn, there's a chance here. So Biggie ends up going 9-7, I believe.
Right.
And you going 4-12, him going 9-7, equated out to you guys tying for the entire season.
But more important than that, for next year, because we got Tommy here with us, Turbo Tommy, who did an excellent job starting to pick. What week did you start? Do you remember?
It was like week 5 or 6.
I think it was 8. Yeah.
Okay.
So he picked roughly half the season, but his records were phenomenal.
They were.
So, but we've all got blue check marks now, so we talk about that.
Yeah, so we reached out. We used our track record of picks because we do it on the show. We post it on social media. It's unedited content.
Stand by record on Thursdays.
Yep. And we lock in. And Pick Watch, which is an organization that tracks every professional picker out there, was more than happy to have us come in. Not as We Don't Know Sports, but as Turbo Tommy, as Mr. Brown, as Chad the Mark, as Canadian Biggie. We're all officially blue check mark now. So when Mr. Brown talks about the pressure of the blue check mark, he got it in his own head, I think. That's unfortunate. That, and I had to keep reminding you to do the picks because we didn't have a Thursday night game.
I appreciate it.
Through everything was off, right? That's what happens.
Excuses.
But Tommy, now Tommy's like, you're going to be tracking everything with me now.
Absolutely.
So Tommy, the way he looks at it is he's got a better overall record than you since we got the blue check
Coming
mark.
after you.
See, look at him get cocky.
Just come after me then.
I will. I'm on your butt.
Because guess what? I'm the baseball guy, and if I take this shit from you guys, guess what? You guys just suck.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Or that gambling.
You better not take
Or
it.
gambling is just luck anyway. But,
Yeah, I think it's luck.
that being said, we have 6 games.
Right.
That's it. 6 games.
Hey, for the record, with my 4-12 record at the end of the year in week 18, I still beat Maurice Jones-Drew. Thank you.
You did. And Maurice Jones-Drew had a phenomenal week 18, by the way. He came in hot. I think he went 12. He did the opposite of you, and you still beat him. So that being said,
we're built the same.
That being said, you are built the same. You both have very large calves. I'll give you that. About as wide as they are tall.
We're boxes.
Should have been a running back.
Yes. We're like Roblox.
So Biggie's not with us tonight. Second time we've done picks here. He's celebrating birthdays of his kids like we referenced earlier. But Turbo Tommy's stepping in to take his place for tonight. But that being said, it's time to hit the music. Oh, and we only got a few more weeks of hearing that beautiful NFL chime, that those bells come in, and we know it means it's serious talk now. It's time to get down to these picks. And we're going to hit it hot and heavy out the gate. And we're going to go to the jungle, to Cincinnati, where my Cincinnati Bengals are playing Mr. Brown's Oakland, Los Angeles, wherever the hell they're at now, your Raiders.
They don't even coach.
And they don't even have a head coach, but yet they made the playoffs because the Chargers are idiots. But anyway,
We're going to do all that dog shit. We're both 10-7.
that's fine.
Okay.
We have a better record against playoff teams than you do, so there you go.
Yeah, because the Steelers made it.
Well, that helps. Did the Raiders beat the Steelers?
Oh, yes.
Okay, we just
And the Ravens. They're not playoff.
We just got the chance to play them all twice. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Tommy, kick us off. The Bengals at home are a 5-point home favorite.
You're the Bengal fan. I thought you started.
Well, I haven't,
take it.
but everybody knows what I'm going to do.
No, we
Well,
don't.
that's very true.
So you go ahead and go first.
Joe Burrow is the man. He is the next coming. I'm taking the Bengals over the Raiders.
They're covering the 5.
Covering the 5.
All right,
Easily.
All right,
Easily.
double digits, maybe. You want to call that?
I'll call double digits.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Clearly, I'm going to Raiders.
All right.
We got the reigning.
These collars don't run. Is that what it is?
We got the reigning defensive player of the week, the reigning special teams player of the week.
Max Crosby actually has the highest QB pressure percentage in all of football.
Yeah. In all honesty, I'm going to pick the Raiders because that's what I'm going to do. But I feel like it's going to be an uphill battle to win this game, especially being in Cincinnati, even though we probably got more fans in the stadium than you guys. But if we find a way to early on run the ball, then it's going to be a close game. And Waller's back, so that adds another dynamic, which we haven't had.
Gotcha.
So I like our chance. I think it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll be double digits like Tommy's allowed.
So the Raiders are going to cover.
No, absolutely.
Okay. So
If you win, it'll be by 3.
so it's the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's the first one we get, so we don't have to wait long. It's a Saturday game, 4:30 start. The weather is not expected to be great. So that being said, I think it's going to make it a little bit more of a dogfight. Now, the one thing the Bengals can say is they don't have an indoor practice facility, so they're already practicing outside, getting ready for it.
Right.
I'm hoping the Raiders not being used to the cold might play a factor. I think the Bengals win this game, but they don't cover. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's a field goal game. I think the weather's going to ugly it up a little bit. I think it's also the fact that I just can't ever pick the Bengals to cover. I can say they win, but they're not going to cover because it's 5. I thought that was a bigger spread than what we would see. So
2 10-7 teams.
yeah. So you are the lone wolf.
Boom! Pow!
There you go. Is that your Madden? Tough acting to acting.
Yeah.
Rip. We love you, John Madden. And that's out of the way now. So we got that, and I'm gonna see if I can play hooky at work, and maybe we can.
You need to
try to watch that game. I don't know. All right, how about Big East New England Patriots going into Orchard Park, New York, where nobody circles the wagons quite like the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are a 4-point home favorite against the Pats.
You stole my line. Nobody circles the wagons better than the Buffalo Bills.
So is that what happens here?
That's what happens this week.
So the Bills are covered.
The Bills will cover.
Of course they are.
Sorry, Biggie.
Sorry, not sorry.
This is tough for me, really. I mean, because New England receivers and their limited opportunities have the least amount of drops in the NFL. Okay?
Good stuff.
And their defense, we know what their defense can do on a given week. And we know what Bill Belichick can do.
Disaster.
This is the third time they've played. So, do we know what the weather's? It's going to be one of the coldest games in history in
Ice
Buffalo.
ball. Ice ball.
But New England's used to that. So
is Buffalo.
I know. I'm just saying that don't affect either team.
Are we going to have the wind like last time, where they only threw the ball 3 times?
Dude. I'm torn. All I'm going to say is Mac Jones was the best rookie quarterback that came out of the draft. But Buffalo has the best talent overall. So I feel like in this type of game, it's going to matter. I feel like it's going to prevail. I feel like Max came on the scene a little too early. I feel like next year he could do some damage, but not this year. I feel like he's going to run into the buzzsaw of the Buffalo.
All right, so you're taking the Bills to cover?
Yeah, it's hard for me.
Okay.
This is tough.
So we're across the board taking the Bills here, and I'm going to tell you why. The Bills, ever since they got drubbed through the run game, the Patriots unloaded on them that one week where they decided not to throw the ball, and they blamed it on the wind or whatever. They just decided to impose their will on Buffalo. And it lingered into the next game. They were playing the Bucs, and for some reason, the second half of that game against the Bucs, all of a sudden they woke up. And ever since then, the Bills have been firing on all cylinders offensively. They've taken care of business. I think that's what you get to see. You're going to see that Bills team continue. They're going to come in here. They're going to win by 7, 8, 9 points, something like that. So they're covering that 4-point spread easily. So we're all in agreement. The Bills are going to circle the wagons.
And I'm asking, has Biggie sent you his picks yet?
No, he has not.
All right. So he may be the lone wolf.
He will be the lone wolf, I'm sure. There's no way he can pick against his Pats.
Right.
All right, we got a big spread here. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Tampa Bay hosting the Eagles, 9.5.
9.5.
9.5.
That is large against a running team and
the best running team in all of football,
and a good run defense.
I don't know if they're the best run defense, but they were for a while.
They're good.
Yeah,
they're good. 9.5. I believe the Buccaneers are going to win the game, but I don't think they'll win by 9.5. So I guess I'm going to take the Eagles.
Okay, Eagles covering from Turbo Tommy.
I just said the same. I was thinking the same thing. The Eagles going to cover. The Bucks win. I say Pats.
Might as well.
Brady's new team. They cover. Like we talked about earlier, they're so thin at receiver. So Gronk's going to have a big game. He's going to have to step it up. But I feel like the Bucks going to win home field, but not cover.
Yeah, I want to pick the Bucks to cover, but I can't. It's just 9.5 playoff football. Like if the Bucks win like 34-10, I would not be surprised. But Philly, if they can run the ball just a little bit and keep the clock down low, I see it being a lower scoring affair, and maybe they keep it. I'm taking the Eagles to cover the 9.5, but again, the Bucks are going to win. So we're not arguing too much here. So we're going to move on. Let's see if we can mix things up on this game. I think we all are looking at this one as being the closest game of the weekend, possibly, where the San Francisco 49ers rekindle the old postseason rivalry with the Dallas Cowboys of all teams. The Cowboys back in, and they're a 3-point home favorite against the surging 49ers.
Surging 49ers. The history of this is just it boggles me right now. It's just old school. I do have a feeling that Dallas is going to try to establish a run, keep that ball out of Prescott's hands. They're going to try to run the ball. Zeke needs to be the guy, but Tony Pollard.
I was going to say Pollard is who I'd be worried about.
When you said when they're going to run the ball, I was like, is it going to be Zeke or is it going to be Pollard?
Well, that's a good question. I believe Zeke will be the man this weekend. Pollard has been. Pollard's been carrying him. And that might be the edge. So I'm going Dallas. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Okay.
3, and you went Cowboys.
Even 3. We can get a push in this one.
I agree with you. I feel like it should be a little bit bigger. Now, if San Fran would win the game, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Dallas has so many more weapons, but all you need is that one turnover, man. That's all you need.
Very true.
And it's a home. I feel like Dallas can win by 3, so I gotta go Dallas.
If it's a 4-point spread,
Yeah, I agree.
I'm taking the Niners. It's a 3-point spread, I'm taking the Cowboys. Like it's. I think the game's going to be that tight. And like you just said, if the Niners end up winning, I'm not surprised. If we had to put confidence points on it, of all 6, this would be my least confident game because I think anything can happen and the spread's too close. But I'm also taking the Cowboys. And like, I think the Cowboys, we had, 6th in our power rankings, so we don't think they're the best, really. Like, they're a good team. But I don't know. Jimmy G can be erratic. Like, you talk about the interception. You're talking about Prescott. Garoppolo is the one I'd be worried about.
The power of porn.
The power of porn. He's the guy that has shown the capability of throwing the big interceptions at the wrong time. So we'll see what happens. But we're across the board there. I thought we'd mix things up. So let's get even more interesting here and go to a Sunday night game. Turbo Tommy's Pittsburgh Steelers going into Arrowhead in the Sea of Red. You know what the spread is?
12.5.
12.5 for the Chiefs.
Ooh,
so
that's big.
Huge spread. Go ahead and tell us what you're doing, where your heart's at, where your head's at.
Come on out to the retirement party. Just come on out. Have a little bit of fun.
Tommy retired last year, now Big Ben.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to sit in our seats and watch football from now on. 12.5 is big. I do believe my Steelers will cover the 12.5. I'm not so confident we'll win the game, but 12.5. Tomlin's a good coach.
So they'll keep it respectable.
Yeah, he's going to make his adjustments from a few weeks, and yes, we'll cover the 12.
Okay.
12.5.
I'm going to go back on what I said earlier about Tomlin being a good coach.
You go back to revisit or go
I'm
back
taking
to
it back. Chiefs are going to cover. They're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Like Big Ben from the horse's mouth, literally the horse, because he's the same weight. So they should be the worst. They're the worst team in the playoffs, and Kansas City's going to show everybody why. Big Ben, you should have hung it up last year. Mason Rudolph with a dent in his head is better than you. Let's just move on with our lives.
Wow. No gravy reference?
Nah, not today.
Not today. The spread is massive. The Steelers' offensive deficiencies are even more massive. The Chiefs are going to score. How many points, Tommy, do you think the Chiefs will score in this game?
That's a good question. 27.
Nah, they will not start with a 2. It will be 30 or more. And I think as the game gets into the higher scoring affair, it's worse and worse and worse for the Steelers to try to keep up.
I agree with that.
So I think that's why the Chiefs cover. And I will say Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches out there. The fact that he had to put up with AB, Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, all these guys for all those years, like there's going to be a last dance about the Steelers one day we're going to watch and go like, oh my God, what a nightmare that was. And then they'll erect monuments to Mike Tomlin for his ability to keep that under wraps. But it's not going to help him beat the Chiefs. So you're the lone wolf, you're the lone Steeler, and the Steelers, as a lone wolf, like what the hell are you going to do?
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Not today.
I'm waving my.
Yes, that's the thing they give the fans in Pittsburgh because they can't pay attention to the game long enough. They have to have a shiny object to pay attention to. You have to have a prop as a fan. That is disheartening. Almost as disheartening as not being able to afford a logo for both sides of your helmet.
Oh,
you kind of like the Browns. You like the Browns look, but you want it to be different, so you can only do half, I guess, but it's okay.
That's the rivalry coming out.
Yeah,
that is, now I am throwing shade. All right, last game of the wild card weekend. Another tight one. The Cardinals going into L.A. to play the Rams. The Rams are a 4-point home favorite.
I really think you could flip a coin and you couldn't go wrong here. It's 3.5. Is that what it was?
It's 4.
4. Well, the Rams and that quarterback here, Stafford. I'm not sure about his ability to maintain and keep the ball in the Rams' possessions. I'm afraid the turnovers is going to get him. I don't know. You know what? I'm going with the Rams.
All right.
I think they just have too much power. It's their turn. Cardinals are going to falter.
All right. I hear you.
I feel like there's way too much star power on the Rams not to win and to cover. Kyler Murray, I mean, he started out
Calamari.
Exactly. 2021, 20/22 MVP.
Calamari.
I feel like they came out like with storming the whole freaking world, and they were on a roll. They were number 1 in our power rankings for several weeks, but they've hit a rut here.
Yes,
and
they've been exposed.
They established that padding, and that's why they're still here where they are.
Yep.
But I feel like this game, as much as we talk about Stafford, he's got enough surrounding pieces that they're going to cover and they're going to win.
Like, Stafford is the kind of guy that he can have 2 interceptions and they can still win this game. You know what I mean? Like, they can move the ball that well. Cooper Kupp is a manimal out there. They just imagine if they would have a run game. They've activated their guys that were hurt. So I mean, maybe it's there. Is DeAndre Hopkins playing? It doesn't matter if DeAndre Hopkins is playing. It's going to be the Rams. It's at home. The Cardinals, man. And you know what it's coming down to? It's coming down to coaching. And McVay is going to show why he became the godfather of all coaching trees. And you have McVay disciples in every organization now because he was the hot, young, up-and-coming coach there a few years ago. He still is that guy. He's still got the get-back coach. They're going to keep him off the field, make sure he's not tripping over the officials because he's going to be running all over the place as they cover this spread. They're going to win by a touchdown. 4 points is too easy. The Rams take care of business at home because we can't have the narrative about how the NFL wants the Rams in the Super Bowl at home if they don't win, at least in the wild card. So give me the Rams all day. Did we all take the Rams? I think we did.
Yes, we did.
Man, Biggie, we're missing him because he would definitely have taken the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, I think he has to.
Like he rides they're not one of his favorite teams, but they're close.
Or one of 8.
Yeah, right. They're not quite there. They're on the second tier.
It was weeks before I knew he was a Patriots fan.
Right, right. Because he'd be talking about his 2021 MVP Calamari. Don't you know?
Yeah.
All right. Not a lot of hostility or differences here. I think we're aligned for the most part.
Raiders, Steelers.
We had a couple. Yeah, we get into the heart of the teams we care about, and we all have differences of opinion here. So
as a Raider.
I appreciate y'all's lone wolves and getting that out.
We saw what happened with Hank Aaron and the Braves. It's just a matter of moments and days before John Madden and the Raiders do the same thing.
You know, I do. I feel like that works for a couple weeks and then it's done. But I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm hoping that's John Madden. I worry about the stroke he's got up there. You know, he can still pull some strings. You know, coaching from the clouds, maybe. Maybe that's what's happening. He's coaching, and we just don't realize it.
It might be.
A little magic.
He should be.
It's like angels in the outfield, just, angels on the gridiron. That's what it is. John Madden making things happen.
All right, so we're going to I'm not going to talk about it much here after a while. I'm going to save it, but the All Madden documentary.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just ask you guys this. Have you guys yet to try the turducken?
I have not. I've never had a turducken.
Neither have I.
So it originated in Nolans. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not know it's a Cajun type thing.
Yeah, so when you watch the documentary, which is amazing, interviewed the guy with the business that John came down there for the game, and it was for Thanksgiving thing. And then ever since then, because of John, this business has boomed since then with turduckens. And it's basically, you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
What is it? You know what it is?
It's like a duck and a turkey, right?
And a chicken.
And a chicken. It's all three.
But you stuff it in between layers of stuffing.
Okay.
You put stuffing.
I don't know the schematics of it.
So you put
it's way too complicated.
Stuffing in between. So he was like, he had to illustrate. He's like, so you got to have the turkey, and then you, boom, pow, put some stuffing in there, and then some chicken, and then more stuffing, and then the duck, and we got a turducken, boom, pow, and Everybody likes turducken.
I already want one again now.
Exactly.
That's how it
He had the
goes.
telestrator out, and it was perfect. So you got to do it.
Dude,
I feel like we need to have one next year around Thanksgiving.
We should
on our show.
We should do a Friendsgiving, and we should just do
have a
turducken.
turducken.
I'm all about. We'll commit to that now. You have my commitment on the
All right.
turducken. Where do we even buy one?
We're getting it from Nolan's.
We have to get it shipped from Nolan's.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay. We're going down for Mardi Gras.
The only place I know you can get it.
I want the one he had.
Well, it's probably really bad now. Little.
I mean the same business.
Got you. If they're still in business, then they're damn good.
They box them up and they'll send it to us.
Oh yeah,
Let's do it.
All right, we gotta get some price checks on turducken. Price checks on turducken.
I'm just saying.
No, you got me excited. Why do we have to wait?
Really nice.
We can do very nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe we can do it for
Super Bowl.
President's Day, Super Bowl. Yeah, why don't we do it for Super Bowl?
There you go.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm down for that.
All right.
Let's make it happen.
All right.
All right, good deal. All right, boys, that's another show in the books, and we in between segments here trying to work out some maybe a big guest next week. We'll see what happens. We might be connecting with someone out on the West Coast for a little segment, but anyway, I know we usually like to wrap up with a little pop culture, things like that. We've already gone 50 minutes. I don't have the energy or the effort to completely go into Cobra Kai right now, but you did get through the season 4.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, it's still good, or you still liking it?
Yeah, I mean, each season you watch it and you're thinking, what else are they going to have? And then they bring on a new character, and you're hooked for another season, and then it's crazy. Now you're like, wow, what's happening next season?
So we got to get Turbo Tommy here on board with Cobra Kai because he is a fan and a watcher of the original movies.
Yes,
and
I have not watched the series. Yeah. I need to jump on.
I think we might get a Hillary Swank sighting on there eventually.
Yeah, you think so?
She was the next Karate Kid.
Yeah, I know.
Are we going to get Jaden Smith too? Maybe.
Oh God, that's so bad.
Will Smith is a producer on this.
Yeah,
so you never know.
I think one of the dudes in Practical Joker's got a Jaden Smith tattoo on her upper thigh.
That's
Sal.
I don't know if I want to know this story.
But I'm just saying, it's so random. I hope we don't see it on the show.
No. All right, so you did get a chance to dive into some sports documentaries. We were talking about Madden a minute ago. So give our audience one other thing that you've saw recently that you'd like to share. Just something we should chase down.
So I watched 4 this week, 3 baseball and a football. We've kind of talked a little bit about the all Madden doc. We'll save that for another week. I'll stick with baseball this week since that's my thing. I guess if I had to pick one this week, watch the Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Battered Bastards of Baseball.
That's hard to say.
It is.
Where'd you watch that at?
Netflix.
Okay.
It's a Netflix original. I never would have known any of the story. Like, being a big baseball guy, all this was new to me.
That's good, though, right?
But it deals with minor league baseball in the late 70s, mixed with independent baseball, mixed with Kurt Russell and Kurt Russell's dad, Bing Russell, who was a bat boy for the Yankees with not Lefty Grove. I'm trying to think who else was with him. But multiple Yankee players, I think in the 50s and 60s. So Bing Russell grew up in baseball. He went out to Hollywood and made his living in Bonanza. Okay. Was an actor in many series other than Bonanza, and then he's like, screw it. He quit acting, and then he became the owner of a single-A independent minor league baseball team in Seattle, and it's crazy. Think of the land of misfit toys.
Yeah.
And watch this documentary. I don't want to give too much away.
Okay. So
it's amazing. As a baseball guy, I knew nothing about it, and I was just like, wow.
So
this really happened.
Is this a one-parter? Is this a miniseries?
No, it's a one-parter. I believe it's a little over an hour long.
Okay. So easy watch.
Yeah, it's easy to watch.
Good deal.
So, yeah, check it out. Battered Bastards of Baseball. Kurt Russell even played on the team.
Really?
I didn't even know he had even baseball talent, but he did. So, there you go. There were players on this team aged 20 to 37. playing single A.
That's a unique twist.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. And the moral of the story is do not cross the good old boys of the baseball because they will screw you. Don't cross them.
Oh, see, now I'm interested.
You just can't. Don't cross them. Unwritten rules, even in the minor leagues.
Bad things will happen.
Yes.
Do you remember the restaurant Bonanza?
I do.
I just had to throw that in there.
I do.
Okay. It's like a Ponderosa.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't think Kurt Russell had anything to do with that, though. But, yeah, that's Seattle. So this is before the Mariners, right? So is like there any Major League Baseball in Seattle at the time?
Did I say Seattle?
You did. Or is it
Yes.
Portland?
It's Portland.
Okay. I thought it might have been Portland. And I haven't seen it, but I don't know why I thought
I don't
that.
know why I said Seattle. It's Portland.
That's all right. You know, we can fact correct
No, it's
ourselves.
fine. So, like, they had AAA minor league baseball in Portland. It left, and then Bing Russell brought in this single A team. There was an independent team.
What was the name of the team? Do you remember?
Oh, God, you asked me too quick.
Because I love the names of these minor league teams. That's okay. That's a more reason to watch the doc.
I don't remember. It was all over the stadium. I think it was Mayhem or something crazy.
The Portland Mayhem.
I don't know what it was. It was crazy.
Hey, they're used to mayhem out there now.
It was crazy.
Ha ha.
But yeah, you got to watch it.
All
And I think because it had the Hollywood twist, and there was actually one player that pitched for the Yankees as a rookie in the 50s. I don't remember his name. And then he got kicked out of baseball because he got blackballed. And then he went and played for this single A team because he loved the game. And he did so well that the Braves actually signed him in the late 70s, early 80s to let him pitch for a season.
Really?
At age 37.
Hey, it's like the rookie.
Yeah, it was crazy.
See?
But he had won like 20 games or something with the Yankees in the
Really?
50s.
In the 50s.
Yeah.
So how much time had passed between this?
A good bit. He played like 8 years in the majors.
Wow.
That was it.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good shit. So
Check it out.
So it's called the Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Yes.
All right. The name alone would pique my interest.
Right.
So
And the reason why I never even heard of it, we're talking about documentaries in my baseball group, and that was the number one recommendation.
really.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I watched it.
All right. Now I feel like I got to watch it. So I'll be checking that out. And then I guess, if we're going to pull the Super Bowl off in the man cave here in a couple weeks, we're talking in between segments, we might actually order a turducken.
You should.
And that's a slice of pop culture. John Madden's going to watch Super Bowl with us while we enjoy a turducken.
I'm in. Let's
That's how it
do it.
feels.
I'm in.
You're into Turbo Tommy. You were looking it up in Louisiana. How much is a turducken?
119.
And that's a bacon wrapped one, you said?
Bacon wrap.
Yeah, dude.
How much
Bacon
bacon would be on a turducken?
Everything's good with bacon.
It's a lot of bacon. So, all right. So, for the turducken fans out there, the Battered Bastard of Baseball fans out there, we're going to watch that here this week and try to enjoy it a little bit. But make sure you check us out on all platforms of social media, but specifically Facebook's growing like wildfire. We're hitting about 3.5 million people a month right now. We Don't Know Sports has also got some groups out there. Football is Life, all things basketball, America's Pastime, the love of baseball, and then a dying hockey group that we're looking for maybe the next best hockey fan out there to help us with. So if you know anybody, hit us up. This has been the We Don't Know Sports podcast. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy your wild card football. Bye-bye.